Horror Lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you once again. Off the fill-in from Tuesday. It is Wednesday. I'm your regular Wednesday evening host here at BodyBags. Again, it is week 399. And so again, nothing's changed since yesterday. It'll come together. When it does, I think it's going to look pretty epic. So I pray for your patience and the fact right now with this move and everything else, it's just my head is so swimming right now, and I just feel just overwhelmed with how much really needs to be done. So bear with me, I pray, probably for a couple reviews as things just continue to settle. The movie's awesome. In a new home, it is absolutely beautiful, and actually will feel more comfortable that I'm actually, somewhere else in the house other than just the living room as was. So, and shout out to Lonnie, man, because Lonnie's just moved too. And as he said, none of you probably want to really hear about it, but some of you do see it. This is a different room, and it'll come together. And so shout out to Lonnie, who's, dust is settling for him as well, our Friday host. But anyway, so what do I got for you? All my movies are still packed up, so I picked this up from Walmart, Deep Blue Sea 3. I've had quite a few people, say some good things, and it's better than Part 2, and 2 wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but it's Part 2. And so I've been intrigued to check this out, and so I grabbed this out of Walmart not too long ago, and me and my boys watched this. Now, I mean, my littlest, of course, is in pre-K 3, and I'm a 9-year-old and a young man who's ready to be in his senior year. And we all watched it, man. It was just a boys' night last night, and I gotta say, man, this movie, thankfully, was it's just because of that, it was pretty tame, but at the same time, it really does showcase some not so bad special effects, man. Some shark chomping, but really, basically, without having gone back and re-looked at Part 2, I do remember Part 2 not being that great, but this one does two things really good. The third piece, and supposedly the final piece. Directed again by John Pogue, who is known for Quarantine 2, which I've never seen, and The Quiet Ones. I'm pretty sure I've heard good things about that. The film is a 2020 film, and again, it is week 399. Apparently, this movie takes sort of up right after the events of Part 2 in terms of the aftermath of Part 2, and continues a new story, but involving Bella, the three pups who have now grown, the bull sharks from Part 2, and they happen upon this. Mom is leading them in the direction of this certain place, but it's sort of an artificial island near Mozambique, and now it's inhabited by just a few people, but also Emma, who is they're trying to. She's a scientist working on climate change and whatnot, and so anyways, the bull sharks, they'll arrive there, having done quite a bit of damage. We hear about now, of course, the real antagonists in this, of course, are those sort of like a mercenary squad team who are sent by the company from Part 2 to sort of clean up the mess and get back what they can. So there's not a total loss, I guess. So so when you have these guys show up at this artificial island, there's a reuniting of Richard, who's part of the team, but who used to be very close to Emma. They had a relationship, and so there's that dynamic. And I guess, the writing is really freaking good. I never really felt lost about anything. I really enjoyed this movie. I know, suddenly I'm just saying a lot. I'm sorry. There we go. It sort of I said this the other day, it sort of harkens back a little bit to movies that had a lot of other things going on, and sharks weren't like the center focus. Now, I mean, they're pretty much the focus in this movie, but there's a lot of other things going on, and you got a lot of stuff in here, man. You got a lot of knife fighting underneath the water, and it just feels. It feels like an adventure, a race against time, but with intrigue, some sort of sabotage-like moments, underwater demolition. I mean, there's just you can tell they did. I think they really had a fun time putting this thing together, and the final product I think is pretty freaking dang good. When me and all my boys, when all of them, they thoroughly enjoyed it. They got a real serious kick out of this. Again, this is the blue. I haven't really looked at much of the extras. I know there's a few things out here, and maybe a little bit of the CGI is a little shady here and there, but it is a huge step up. And this is not your run-of-the-mill sci-fi stuff, man. This is a pretty crafty little piece for a third entry into, into a series that we've become well familiar with, the Deep Blue Sea films. And trying to think, so it's got a lot going for it. The acting's a little shady here and there. But you know what? None of that really bothered me. Nothing really in this movie really bothered me. I was really having a lot of fun with it. And it is pretty cheap. I think it's $12 Blu-ray at Walmart. Well, if you got part 1 and 2, you gotta grab this. So don't feel like after part 2 you gotta be somewhat obligated to grab this just because you got the first 2. This one is definitely worth a pickup especially if you're into shark films. Not just being a completist of sorts, right? But it's a fun time, man. It is really a fun time, and I do look forward to popping this again and enjoying this. This is a great, middle of a Saturday afternoon with nothing really else going on, and you just got time to lazy around the couch in your living room. Pop this thing in, man. It's just a fun movie, man. It is a fun movie. Deep Blue Sea 3 here at week 399. We're just a week away from week 400, and it is going to be a great theme week. It is going to be a celebratory week rooted in a lot of reviews that just are rooted in things pertaining to celebration type films, man. Just think of birthday, Christmas, all that junk, man. It's going to be fun to see what reviews suddenly land next week. It is week 400, and a whole lot of appreciation to each and every one of you. It is you and you alone that helps us to be able to continue to do what we do every week, because it's fun, man. I get a kick out of it, man. I wish my surroundings were a little bit better, but it's a release, man. It's a moment just to kind of get away, forget about a lot of things, and just think about the one thing that we just love, and that is the art of film, man, and talking about film. And so I hope this review, as foggy as my head is, and with all the work that's got to get done, I hope there was something good in this. If you haven't seen it yet, been thinking about it, I say just go yank it, man. It's $12, man, and enjoy it, man. I think you will. So with that, I just got to work. So as always, we leave these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream.